Hello traders and welcome to this weekly forecast show from Quality FX Trading. In this live session, I'm gonna go through pound dollar, crude oil and US500. And as usual, for those who are regularly watching our forecast weekly, I will focus on those important levels, point of interest, so you can watch those levels and see if it's giving you any tradable setup. So the first asset I'm going to analyze in this session is gonna be pound dollar. As you can see on the left side the weekly chart and right side daily chart in one view. So first let's focus on the weekly chart. As I discussed last week, we are in the quarterly shift mode. That means my bias for this coming week is gonna be bullish, and there are many supporting reasons for that. As per my analysis, pound dollar and crude oil and even US500, they are all going to be bullish, and of course the US dollar is going to show the weakness from this week, and this is going to be at least for the next 2-3 weeks. I can see the bullish price action for the non-US dollar index assets. So like the three that we are analyzing and we are discussing here, I can see they are bullish. So our focus is going to be on the bullish setup. As you can see on the weekly chart on the left side, so the horizontal line, the orange line, you can see there is a bearish order block, and above that we have the bearish fair value gap at 117,600. So these two orange lines on the weekly can be our first targets for either I think it's achievable by this week, but the first one definitely we want it by this week at 1.14700. So don't forget that our weekly target for pound dollar, the first one is going to be at 1.14700 and the second one at 1.17600. Now, based on these highlighted targets, let's go to the right side and see the daily chart. Last week, you can see the price moved to the downside, and as we discussed, we wanted the price comes inside this daily fair value gap, as you can see showing in the blue horizontal line. So this is the distance gap between this low and this high. So that's why we call it fair value gap. For those who are watching us maybe for the first time, you can also go back to our library of videos, and we have different videos which you can find useful, and you can learn about the concept that I'm actually raising in these sessions. So if you want to know more about those concepts, I recommend you to go and watch them in our video libraries. So here you can see immediate reaction as per our forecast. You can go back and watch our last week forecast. Then you will see how I was emphasizing at this level, and you can see the immediate reaction on a daily, and even if we go to the lower time frame, you can see how price was strongly pushing to the upside. But the daily here push to the upside, and this is kind of confirmation for the daily bullish continuation. Now here price on Friday, as usual, Friday is a retracement day most of the time. So it's basically Friday is going to deceive the traders. So many of the traders now they are thinking this is a sell, and they will start selling. So now price is coming down to this. Actually, now I'm moving this line to the upside. Here is a bullish order block which is created now. Okay, last down move candle, this two last move candle, and then we have bullish price action. So this is a daily, and yeah, this is a daily bullish price action. And you can see this week even was almost touched. So the exactly the gap here was filled last week, and after the gap was completely filled, price pushed to the upside, and then now on Friday it's coming back down to retest this bullish order block. So what we are aiming for the beginning of the week is gonna be some kind of a correction manipulation phase to the downside, maybe to complete this retest of this bullish order block, or even on Monday we can see some kind of price action to the upside. Then by Tuesday, so please pay attention when I'm explaining the price action for the week, because most of the time, based on the history, you can see you can get benefit out of this if you really pay attention and make a note of these levels and the way of price action is going to move. So because in this live, in this kind of weekly forecast, basically I'm gonna discuss the price action which you will see during the week, but there is no time in this kind of session that I'm gonna teach you everything. So by time you may learn about this stuff, and of course by going to our channel and watching different videos. But here you can see the daily bullish order block is going to be retested. So depends, maybe this is going to be retested after Monday, maybe by Tuesday price is going to slowly it's going to go up in the beginning of the week, and then by Tuesday maybe you can see some kind of manipulation to the downside to retest this bullish order block. And then after that, for the rest of the week, I'm going to see the bullish price action, and we will look for the bullish setup to the upside to break the 114,700, which was last 2 weeks high, and then we can see price can go and for the second target profit at 1.17600. So this is very important, as we found these two target profit in our weekly chart. So now after this, let me just quickly go through US500. This was the pound dollar, and now I'm going to show you the US500. So just allow me some time to bring up the charts for the weekly on the left side. And we can put the daily chart on the right side. So here you can see the daily chart. So for USA 500 last week, again we discussed this in our weekly forecast show last week. For those who watch our last week show, the USA 500, I was emphasizing this price can go and break this low, and exactly I was highlighting 3503 level, which you can see price moved to the downside. It touched this low as highlighted in this chart. You can see the orange line down. You can see how perfectly price went to this orange line. And what was that orange line? It was a weekly fair value gap. So always based on the algorithm, price is trying to go to this kind of levels, fair value gap, or any void, or bullish price action in case price is bullish, or some kind of rejection block or breaker block. So these kind of levels are very important for the smart money concept, and those big banks, they want to to shift the price to this kind of levels, and then you should see the reaction, and based on the reaction you can find the trade setup. So this was exactly I have discussed last week. If you didn't watch the video, please go back and watch last week's video, and you see how I was emphasizing 3503, and it touched exactly that level. And after that, you see what happened. Price pushed to the upside after the CPI news, and after that, next day, Friday, you see price is coming to the downside. And again, I believe this daily candle to the downside is going to be deceiving candle, because uh, based on the many supporting reasons. One of the reasons that I don't want to teach you here, but I will just raise it. And for those who know about SMT divergence, um, between US 500 and US 30, now there is a bullish SMT divergence. So what it means? It means US 500, it made a new low in the daily charts, and if you go back to US 30 daily chart, you will see that you don't see any new low in that chart. So that means price is ready to push to the upside. That's why based on this reason and many other technical reasons that we can see, price is ready to push to the upside and to break this, first of all, this 3833 in the as a daily target. You can see here in this blue horizontal line. And why is this is our first target? This is above this high, and also this is a fair value gap. So that's why we can see price is pushing to that level, most probably by this week, and even the coming weeks. I can see price action is going to be bullish for the USA 500. So pay attention that another reason that is going to support this idea of bullishness is actually the quarterly shift. Now it is October. Usually in October, currency markets, USA 500, and even commodities are pushing to the upside. If you look at the historical data, you see October is a month of bullishness. Exactly in September, you see bearishness, and we already finished September, and you can see from the beginning of the October, in the last 2 weeks, price was pushing to the upside, and last week was almost correcting, and some kind of bullishness was there. But this week, again, I emphasize, I'm looking for bullish price action for all these three assets: pound dollar, crude oil, and USA 500. So just focus on buying these markets, and don't worry and don't get nervous if you see prices pushing to the downside, because we are focusing on the buying these markets. So even if price is going to the downside in the beginning of the week, that is completely normal for those who know about big banks and how they are trying to manipulate the market. So pushing little bit to the downside is going to be completely normal, and it is even can be better entry, especially for those who are going to take swing trade and little bit long-term trades. So it's gonna be a fantastic entry for them to take the trade at those levels, and then they can push the price to the upside. So again, I emphasize, and don't forget, this week is going to be bullish, and we will focus on buying these three markets on the levels that I'm highlighting. Now, I'm going to wrap up this session with crude oil, but I'm going to spend more time with crude oil. First of all, I'm going to show you the weekly chart and daily chart, and after that we will go to lower time frame to discuss even some better entries for your day trading. So the weekly chart for crude oil on the left side, and I'm gonna put daily chart for crude oil on the right side. So please wait till I'm arranging the chart for you. So for crude oil, from the beginning of this month, I was bullish, but of course, we will be staying overly bearish for crude oil, but not for the month of October. Remember, October, I said it's gonna be a bullish month, so at least for this week. So we have to see the price action for this week. Then I can give you the forecast for the rest of the month and going into November. So November for crude oil can be bearish, and usually based on the historical price action and data, we will see some kind of bearishness and correction, for even not correction, even pushing to the downside as kind of manipulation to the downside. So on the weekly chart, we can see 71.95 is the weekly bullish order block, which is not tested yet. So we can see price can push to the upside first to take 97.60 level, which was our target from last week. and this 97.60 level, because last week I was bullish on this, but price is giving correction to the downside, and now uh, still I'm bullish because now price is basically after taking these highs, we can see price can even go to the upside more. But remember, when you are bullish, especially in the oil, because it's a very volatile market, so you should not wait for a very long term targets. Only if you are a position trader and swing traders, and you can basically keep some losses until it converts to the profit. Otherwise, if you are a day trader, I suggest you to take profit even at 93 level. So 93 level is our first target for the week for crude oil, and I can see price is pushing to the upside, going to the 93 level by this week. But first of all, here you can see in the daily chart on the right side, this blue horizontal line is showing us a daily bullish order block. There is a possibility that this to be tested, but I don't think so that much. But because it is oil, so there is a possibility, because oil is moving a lot and it's moving big, can to the downside or upside, even as a correction or manipulation. Right now, if you can see, there is a fair value gap which the price is right now inside that. So in the daily chart, this high and this low is showing us this fair value gap. So price at the moment is residing in this fair value gap, and if it wants to go up from here, it's okay. We can look for the buy setup in the lower time frame, as I'm gonna show you now next. So just stay and watch till the end as I'm going to the lower time frame and show you price action in the lower time frame for crude oil. But overall, for the coming week and even the week after, I think. But anyhow, on Sundays you can watch my weekly forecast, and I will update you if there is any change in my bias and analysis. But for the coming week, I'm gonna be bullish, so wait for the price to show some kind of manipulation to the downside, and after that we can buy oil for the target of 93. Don't forget this target, 93.50 or 93 level, and after that we are looking for the second target of the week at 97.60 level. Let me switch to the lower time frame for crude oil before wrapping up the session. So let me go to the first, let me show you the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart for crude oil. I'm going to highlight those kind of levels which are important in the downside for you, so you can actually make a note of these levels in your chart, in your own chart. And also I want you to practice by putting these kind of levels in your chart, and even try to do it in other charts, in other assets when you are trading. So in this way you can learn how to set these kind of levels and how to wait for these kind of levels to see if any reaction is happening. So it's very important to trade in this way. So I'm going to put a red line as the color code for 4 hours. So here in the 4-hour chart, let me just zoom in here, and I'm gonna put the red color exactly in this 4-hour bullish order block. So this order block in this discount market, as crude oil is pushing to the downside, so when it's pushing to the downside below 50% of the range, then we have the discount market, and we are aiming for this premium market to take our profit when we are buying. So this bullish order block is going to be one of the important levels which price can go inside that and retest this level. And here I'm putting the other line to show this bullish order block. And remember, the bullish order block is mostly is better you put it in the body of the candle. The last bearish before this bullish, the body of the candle. It means the open price and the close price of this bearish candle. So the price usually for the perfect order blocks, usually price is going inside the order block not more than 50%, which is the mean threshold. That is called mean threshold. So if it is a strong order block which is going to keep the price to the same supporting institutional order flow, then you should expect price to show some reaction, maximum in the 50% of this box, which is a mean threshold. And even if it is giving some wicks below that, uh, make sure that the candle will close above this level. Because the wicks are not important, the main important thing is that the body. But of course, the wick also should not manipulate the low of this red line. Okay, so another line which I want to emphasize here is this line, and you can see actually there is a fair value gap in the 4-hour chart here. You can see between this candle low and this candle high, where I'm putting the you can see with maybe just some seconds of delay. You can see I'm putting that red horizontal line where we have the fair value gap. So the first reaction can be here, and if it is going to pass through this stage, then price can reach to that bullish order block. As I mentioned, these are the levels that market makers are looking to this kind of level: fair value gaps, liquidity void, order blocks, and rejection block, breaker block, previous high, previous low. These are the levels which you have to pay attention when you are trading and when you are looking for either buy or sell. So if you want to buy the market, always pay attention to buy in the discount level, which is below the 50% of the range, and look for this kind of levels to see the reaction first and then take action based on the reaction you see, and look for the buy setup in this case. And if it is opposite, of course, you should look for the sell setup in the bearish market. I hope this has been useful for you, and I wish you all the very lucky trading week and all the success for this week. Please don't forget to leave the comment and like the video and share the video with your friends and all you know that they will like such videos, and talk to you soon. Thank you for watching.